Hi friends, this is Gail O'Neill, and I teach stamping. I hope you enjoy. So tonight I chose to do a little bit of watercoloring, and by no means am I like the best watercolorer, but I want to show you how easy it can be. So I'm going to start out with, and before I do that, let me just show you, I'll show you one of the other cards. And it's like every time you watercolor, it comes out a little bit different, you know. So this one I played with, and it's just playing. It's just throwing color, you know, where it's wet. And tonight I'm using just water. No alcohol, nothing special. I did try something new. It's probably bad of me to do this, but I'm using a new black ink. Because I really do not like StazOn. It's so sticky. I just don't love it. And when you watercolor, you can't use my favorite, which is Memento. So I'm trying a couple. So far, I do like this one a lot. And you can not only watercolor, but amalgam, you can use the blends as well. So I haven't tried using them yet. I only have it a couple days, but it does come out nice and black. So this is the card I'm doing, and it's not sticky, and it doesn't stink. So, okay, let me put this aside because we are using Let It Ride tonight. So I am using our aqua pens. This is another company, but it's like really thin. I use our thick one for the backgrounds. So I'm going to start out, and I'm using markers mostly. Or maybe all the way. I don't know. We'll see as I go. So what I did is I didn't wet the paper first. And this is watercolor paper. So I just threw in a few lines. And I didn't want to do too much because I didn't know how it would spread. So I do keep a napkin and make sure I don't have too much water. But you can lay some color down and then it will spread. So I decided that this one I would use brown and gray. So I also took, this is basic gray. I have to finish putting the labels on these so I can see them. This one is smoky slate. And then I will throw some of the soft suede down. But I wanted to mix in. And the other thing with putting it on, you know, some plastic, you can use a CD, is that you can take some and then mix it. Of course, you don't want to make it muddy, and sometimes the gray and the brown kind of turn green. It's weird. But I like the little blotchy effect that you get with the watercoloring. So, like, I like to skip spots and go back. If you want to lay more color over, I found letting it dry and then going back. So you can do like a light wash like that and then go back in and throw some color in, and then you'll get like some blotchier looks, which I kind of like. It hides your mistakes too. And I know I make a lot of them. If you get too much water, keep and I like to take like a smaller piece and I just blot, and that'll also, if you put too heavy down, it'll lift some of the color. Oh God, it's so hot in here. I have to put my fan on. Sorry, I think it's a hot flash. It's coming from inside. So those of you who have been following my neck problem, it's kind of bad, and I'm going to see the surgeon on Wednesday. I have an appointment, and the pain has been pretty consistent, and my blood pressure has been quite high that they increased my medication, so we will see. So he's really almost finished, and it does dry a little bit lighter. I just want to go in and do his hoofs, so you can throw in color like that and then kind of wet it, and then I'll just take some of that, a little bit more through there. Okay, and then I took some green, probably won't use that dark one. That's not wet enough. It's either too wet or not wet enough. So once you have some color down, you can go back, and that's a little, see how it lifts up? Like whatever color I had there, when it's wet like that, will lift right back up. So I think what I want to do, instead of, on this one I did green around him, I think I want to grab Balmy Blue and do it with the Balmy Blue. So I'm just going to pick that up and just go right around him. Oops, I almost picked up the green. And it will dry a little bit lighter. But I think I want to do some green like between his legs there. Why is this not getting... They're either too wet or not wet enough. So we'll give him some green to stand on. All right, we're going to use some of that. Okay, so then, like where I did that blue, you can go back in and then pull it out a little bit more. To almost nothing. Oh, I just picked up some green. So I'm going to put them aside. That's really about, and I just put a little green spot on it. Let's lift it. Let's see how good that works. Yes! Love it. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry and start the next one. But you see how you have the lights and darks, and if I want, after it's dry, I can go back in and put some more. It all depends on what you want it to look like. This one I put a lot more gray into. I might add a little bit more on his hind and his legs. But let's let him sit and dry a little bit. And put his matching pieces with him. So this is another one I did. And of course, I stamped all that first so it would be dry. And it's very dry because I stamped them yesterday for last night. So I'm in good shape. Okay, so I did the horses first. And I did mostly brown. So a little crumb cake and soft suede. And that is really wet. I use the little one. And this one, oops, wrong side, will go lighter. And we'll put a little gray into him. And he's very wet. Okay, we can always throw a little bit more into him after. So then what I did is I took the stamp. So it was the trees and Granny Apple and Old Olive and my gray hair. So I put it into the Granny Apple and then kind of just picked up a little of the Old Olive, and then I carefully, gently spritzed it. So I stamped, and then I stamped, and then I stamped. And she stamped. Okay, then I kind of cleaned it off and started that process again. I got a bubble. Okay, then I took some of the darker color and kind of stamped off. So that kind of picks up where it was like really splotchy and puts a little bit more definition. I might have to let that part dry first. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so then, right from here, I just picked up some And you're also taking some from where the trees are. And I'm probably going to put a little bit more definition into them. And it's always going to dry a little bit lighter than you first have it. And the nice thing about is that you can add extra water to get a lighter color. And I wanted that to blend down a little bit, so I just added some water. Now you can see it really moving. But I don't want it to bleed into the horses. So we'll get up underneath a little bit. And then where you want it to be a little bit darker, you just grab a little bit more of your color. And now that it's wet, it'll kind of spread. Okay, so what I do want to do is dry a little bit right there. And do a little bit more of the tree. My trees are always crooked. Maybe it's because my paper was. Okay, then we're going to do a little sky. And then I'm going to clean that all off because my colors over there are starting to mix. So I didn't put oops, I'm hitting the green. I really didn't put a lot into the sky. I just wanted a little bit. Okay, so I do want to make my horses just a drop darker. And get that green that I missed in there. Okay, and then you can go back in and add some definition. Okay, so we're going to let that dry as well. And then we're going to put them all together. So I have one more. Well, I stamped two. So I decided to do something just a little bit. I mean, it's very similar to the other one, but different color. So let's see if I can recreate that too. Okay. Let's start with a clean slate, as they say. At least get rid of the green and the blue. Okay, so we're using grays again. So here's the basic gray, smoky slate, and then this is the gray granite. So I'm starting out with the gray granite and giving him a little bit of a wash. And then smoky slate. Basic gray. That one's basic gray. I like the, I don't know if you can see it, but you start to get like some blotchiness as it dries, and I love that look. Like splotches. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of that water, and then some of the darker color will go in. And you can, in between, take it and dry it slightly. And then you can get some of the other color into it. And I like that you can then like wisp color on top of it. Don't I sound like I know what I'm doing? I think it's so funny. Okay, so then what I did was I took Petal Pink. Let's give it a squish. And I didn't let it get all that wet so that the color would really be there. It is rather dry. Okay, so now shedding. So now when I wet it, it kind of softens it in my fingerprint. And if you want some to bleed a little bit, you can put, you know, blotches. See if I can fix that one spot. Nah, that one doesn't want to fix. It's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna set that part aside. And now I am going to do a complete wash. Let's get it a little wetter. And I'm also going to do, if I can find it, I'm going to just put down some temporary tape. Because when you get them real wet, oh, I was going to use a little pad underneath that too. Oh well. As if I really use it when I'm doing this by myself. Psh. Okay, so I'm going to clean this off because this had all the green on it. And then come back with Merry Merlot. Now, if I can remember if I sprayed it or not, I can't. So I'm just going to go with it. And I think I sprayed it after. And then I did some of this. Methinks I sprayed too much, but it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Part of you's getting covered. I told you I'm no expert. Okay, so I'm going to dry it. Okay, so, oh, that's to the other one. Okay, so you want to use strong tape. It's still kind of damp. So, I still have plenty of fast fuse. And that is how my floor gets boogered. Okay, so that goes down on the Merry Merlot. And then this one onto the petal pink. Whoops. And that is how you ruin a fast fuse. Oh, it's empty. That's why it's doing that. That was a lot of fast fuse. Okay. So then the horsey. Oh, first I'm going to put him. And I've been waiting all day to do this. Ta-da! I can't take it. Okay, so then I put him like that. And somewhere I even stamped the greeting. Here it is. So we're just going to make a little flag. Okay, and then we'll just put that down on my fingers. So that's that one. And then this one. My first one came out so much better. Like I said, they never come out the same. But I still like it. You just can't look at them next to each other. I'll give you a quick peek. I think I got like too much water right in there. So that was those two. And then the last one. Oh, you know what I still have to do? Okay. We got to put the greeting on. Let's see if that's where it, yep. That's where it's supposed to be. And one more. Love the Stamparatus. Watercolor paper is hard to get your image or your words. Okay, so now we can mount it. So all of these were 5 by 3 3/4, like I always do. So this one, I didn't feel needed like a lot of color. I just wanted some. I was going to go back. I could do that later and just darken up a few spots. And gray granite for the background. And I think I'll put that up. Okay, let's see if it works again. Okay, one of these times we'll set the timer when I do it. Ah, jinx myself. Okie dokie, so that was my easy breezy watercoloring. Put that one in the middle. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll even give it a try. And my computer has all kinds of messages on it, and I can't see anybody. So give it a try. It's not really hard, and you know, don't make yourself crazy. Here. No, I still like it. I definitely still like it. So I will see you on Sunday with, you know, my motto. I don't know what. So see you then. Thanks for joining me. Good night.